My name is Al Turco. I'm a Wakefield selectman, and I'm honored to be with you on the steps of the AmeriCal Civic Center to introduce my longtime friend, Richard Tissay. In a few moments, Richard will announce his candidacy for the United States Congress in the 6th District. Richard Tissay admirably served as our state senator for 20 years, and before that for 3 terms as state representative from Linfield and Wakefield. Richard has a well-deserved reputation for honesty and integrity based on his years of exceptional public service. His colleagues in the legislature recognized Richard's skills as a principled person who worked well with members of both parties. Prior to leaving the legislature, Richard was elected Senate Minority Leader. Richard earned the respect and confidence of municipal officials in the cities and towns he represented due to his diligence, good judgment, and responsiveness. Whenever a mayor, a town administrator, or a superintendent of schools sought help or advice, Richard was always there. As a state senator, he advanced legislation that benefited all of our communities. Richard showed the same respect and gave the same level of service to his constituency as he did to municipal officials and community leaders. His state senate office served everyone who sought help, including the most humble and needy among us. And it was Richard who set the tone for his hardworking staff over those years. Everyone knew that they could approach him and his staff, and that the staff would do their best in a cheerful manner to deal with some of the complicated and even intractable problems that people face with state government. Richard will do the same and more as our representative to Congress. On a personal note, I've known Richard for many years. I've worked with him on town matters. I've been a volunteer in his campaigns. I can tell you from experience that if Richard is elected to the United States Congress, he won't be a remote person who we'll see once or twice a year at most. To the contrary, Richard will spend as much time as he possibly can in his district, meeting with people, listening to their views, and talking with people regardless of their political affiliations. At this very difficult time in our nation's history, we need a congressman with the character, skills, and ability of Richard Tissay. I'll now turn the microphone over to Richard with my very best wishes for a successful campaign for Congress. Thank you very much.
Wow, this is a great crowd. You know, when I told my mother I was going to announce for Congress at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday, she said, "Who's going to come?" But I want to thank everybody, and just looking out, I'm humbled that so many people would be here to share this day with me. More than 80 years ago, my family came to this country from Tivoli, a little village in Italy. When they got here, they didn't have much in terms of education or wealth. But that doesn't mean that they came empty-handed. Because when they arrived here, they came with an abundance of hope and dreams that in America, they could build a better life. Over the years, they worked hard, they struggled, and ultimately, they were able to achieve the American dream for themselves, for their children, and for their grandchildren. I owe everything to my family in this country for all the opportunities I've had in life. I'm the first member of my family to earn a college degree. I've had the honor and privilege of serving the people as a representative and a senator, and I've been able to build a successful small business. But my story isn't any different than millions of other families across this country. And that's because America has always been the land of opportunity. It hasn't mattered where you came from or what your station in life was. Everybody had the same opportunity to lift themselves up, to reach their full potential, and to build a better future. It's because I believe so strongly in freedom, American exceptionalism, and the American dream that I'm proud to stand before you today and officially announce my candidacy for Congress from the 6th Congressional District. We're here today because we know that our nation's headed in the wrong direction. And unless we do something immediately to turn things around, we're headed for fiscal and economic disaster. We all want to restore an America where people can go to sleep at night dreaming about the future, rather than worrying about how they're going to make it through tomorrow. Today, our national unemployment rate is stuck at 9%, despite trillions of dollars in spending promising us a different result. 1 in 5 Americans is either unemployed or underemployed. 1 in 7 Americans is receiving food stamps. Home foreclosures have skyrocketed, and we have a $15 trillion debt down in Washington. Now, these problems didn't originate here on Main Street. These problems were created in Washington, D.C., where our government has become too big, disconnected from people, and every day becomes more and more dysfunctional. And as a result, we have a government that stands in the way of people rather than serving the people. Now, down in Washington, in the name of hope and change, President Obama and his supporters have abandoned the basic core principles that have made our country so great. Their support of higher taxes, record spending, excessive regulation, and more government have caused the standard of living of the American people to drop faster and further in the past 3 years than at any other time since the government began collecting these statistics 50 years ago. I'm running for Congress because I want to give the people of this district a real choice next November. And I have a much different vision of where we should be heading as a nation than John Tierney. John Tierney thinks that higher taxes will be good for our country. But you and I know that the worst thing you can be doing during a recession, especially where we've lost so many jobs, is increasing taxes. John Tierney believes that government spending is good for the economy. You and I know that all the spending, all the stimulus, all the bailouts, they haven't worked. And right now, we're living on borrowed money and borrowed time. John Tierney believes that small businesses need more oversight and more regulation. But you and I know that small business men and women need to be free to innovate and to create jobs without all the red tape and government interference. Now, if you're happy with the way things are going, then vote to re-elect John Tierney, because you know if he's re-elected, nothing will change. But if you want to start to turn this country around, I need all of you to join me. And let's begin the process of putting this country in a different direction. Without a doubt, this election will be the most important in our lifetime. That's because we face a monumental choice about who we are as a people and who we are as a country. Will we be a country that's prosperous and able to pay our bills? Or are we going to become a nation like Greece, immersed in debt and spiraling towards financial disaster? Will we be a country where the free enterprise system continues to create good jobs and a higher standard of living for everyone? Or are we going to become a country where the government picks winners and losers and has complete control over every aspect of the economy? Will we be a country where hard work and success are encouraged and rewarded? Or are we going to be a country where it's attacked and vilified? Will we be a nation that promotes self-sufficiency and individual responsibility? Or are we going to become a nation where everybody is dependent upon the government? And finally, and most importantly, are we still going to be the greatest and most powerful country on earth? Or are we going to be a nation in decline whose best days are behind us? You know, the answer to all of those questions depends upon all of us and the commitment that we're willing to make to get involved and to begin change right here in the 6th Congressional District. We deserve better. We deserve leaders we can trust. We deserve a congressman that we can trust. We'll put the people's interest before the special interest, and it won't spend every day playing politics down in Washington and pitting American against American. John Tierney has become part of the problem in Washington. He's been rated as one of the most ideological left-wing members of the entire Congress. And knowing the way the Congress is, that takes an awful lot to do. But he's become part of the great divide in Washington, representing an extreme rather than the mainstream. Now, I know that the people of this district, are fair and they're hardworking. We're compassionate, We play by the rules. And we believe strongly in the values and traditions that have made our country so great. Now, this district needs an independent-minded congressman. The people are independent-minded. I'll be that congressman. I'll be your congressman. And I want everybody to know that I'll have an open-door policy, and I'm going to work with everyone and anyone who wants to put this country back on track. Now, America is an exceptional country when we all act exceptionally. And that's exactly what we're going to need to do right now in order to get us out of this mess and to move this country back in the right direction. My grandfather used to tell me a lot of stories about how difficult it was back then when they started out. But he also told me something that I carry with me and I remember every day. And that is to never lose faith in America, because there's no other country like it on earth. We all know that America can do better and that the American dream can live on. So let's start today and begin restoring the dream for this generation and for generations to come. Now, in announcing my candidacy, let me just say, this is the start of what will be a long and a hard-fought campaign. And I learned years ago that campaign promises must be made with great care. But there are two promises I feel very comfortable and very confident making to you here today. First, I will truly represent the people of this district. And secondly, and most importantly, I won't disappoint you. Thank you very much. Thank you.